What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming out. I'm Toli. I'm the founder of Bad Bears. Thank you to all of the holders that came out to support. So, going to talk about on-chain versus off-chain tokens today. Last year, around this time, our on-chain token got attacked. It got hacked. About 60 Ethereum drained. It was rough. It was really, really hard to deal with, but it actually offered us a really interesting opportunity to pivot into an off-chain token. So it forced us to really look at the viability and it forced us to look at whether or not we actually needed to be on-chain, or if it was a bit more of a kind of like a buzzword thing that we were seeking. So essentially what happened was I woke up at 3 a.m. on a Friday night to my team member, or one of my team members, Benji, he's not here right now, banging on my door. I was living at the top floor of an apartment with like pretty serious security at the time. And I opened the door and he's there just completely wide-eyed and a security guard behind him, and he's like, bro, there's something that's happened. And I knew exactly what it was. It was a token got attacked. And so it was kind of a thing that was like unrecoverable, right? Like the first time it happened, it was we funded the liquidity pool again, after that, and then it happened again. So basically what we did is we looked at our entire ecosystem again, and we kind of tried to figure out, okay, do we want to stay on chain or do we want to go off chain and kind of play with that? And what we found is there are a couple of pros and cons of being off chain. And those are the cost associated with development, the time it takes to develop, anything associated with off chain, the integrations. So if you're an on-chain token, to integrate into a platform like Twitter or Minecraft, etc., it's either they don't allow it or it's just too much work. And so the thing with an NFT brand is you don't really need to be on-chain. Like it's not required, right? It's actually really expensive. Like you have to think about security, and it takes a lot more time, and you can't really integrate into all the platforms that you want to. And so what happened is it actually gave us a really interesting opportunity to create this off-chain token and replace the passive yield with this token. And so at that point, it was kind of like the bottom of the barrel of the bear market last year. And this token that we created, it was integrated into the Discord, and so people could just very easily like harvest it, and tip each other without having to worry about transaction fees and that kind of thing. And so it really kind of, I would say, like supercharged the community. And if you ask any Bad Bear holder about kind of what happened around that time, it was really something that really kind of like supercharged the energy in there, because people could actually use this token, and it was easy to use, it was fast, there's no gas fees and all this stuff, because a big part of on-chain tokens is they actually can take your community for a roller coaster ride, right? So the price of the token, whether it's up or down, it'll kind of guide the emotions of the community. But you don't really want that, right? There should be other things, there should be other elements that make your community happy, right? Whether it's, events or developments that you're working on, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so it was a really interesting kind of experience for us to go through and to pivot to an off-chain token. And now you see stuff going on with SEC and an ApeCoin, and a bunch of other NFT brands that have moved to an off-chain token since. And so it was, even though it was like really, really painful to go through that experience of the attack on the smart contract, it actually gave us an opportunity to focus on building something that the community actually values a lot more. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter if you have an on-chain token or an off-chain token. As a founder or as a team, it's your job to build the value of that. It doesn't matter if it's on-chain or off-chain. If it's off-chain, you actually have a lot of really interesting benefits like onboarding, like Web 2 to Web 3 onboarding is a lot simpler. People don't have to set up a MetaMask. They don't have to fund it with Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. So what came from that is we actually developed a two-part Discord bot that first of all, so I think that everybody could probably agree that Discord is where communities live as far as NFT communities, right? Obviously there's Twitter, but that's kind of, that's kind of scattered. So Discord is where communities live, is what we figured out. But a lot of Discord servers are just absolute garbage. They just suck. It's a pain in the ass. I can remember the first time I opened up a Discord server maybe 5 years ago. I jumped in, I did some kind of verification, and I was presented with 20 different chat channels, and I quit. And I didn't jump in for another, 2 or 3 years. And so a lot of Discord servers actually suck really bad. But that's where the community lives. And so we decided to focus on building out the experience inside of the Discord. And so we developed a Discord bot that created a casino, store, prizes, a tipping functionality so that people could actually enjoy that token just right away, without having to go through the pain of onboarding to Web3. So yeah, I think overall, just kind of reflecting over this last year, going through the pain of suffering a Web3 attack was really it was really hard, but it kind of allowed us, forced us to to pivot, and look at things in a different way. We realized that holy shit, we don't need to be on chain. We can move faster, we can integrate better, we can onboard a lot better with an off-chain token. And it doesn't matter if your token is on-chain or off-chain, you still have to build the value of it. So, yeah. So a big thing that we did is we developed this bot for us internally, and then we realized that every single Web3 community could use these things that we built. And so we're in the private beta right now of actually making it so that any Web3 and NFT community can use these tools that we built and also use the off-chain component of it as well. So yeah, so that was, I guess, kind of my experience with on-chain versus off-chain tokens. Obviously, there are NFT brands that should be using an on-chain token based on their utility, but I would probably say the majority of them don't need that. If there's some kind of economy or a currency they're trying to develop, treat it more like an arcade and not really so much, something that people can bring in a real world value like Ethereum or USDC into it. Treat it like an arcade. Make your community a fun place to be, and I think it'll take a lot of projects, a lot further. So, thank you very much.